So usually when I film one of these videos, I clean off my desk so it looks all nice and clean and easy to figure things out, but I felt like just leaving it the way it is because everything's where I can find it, and just to show you what it looks like on a daily basis. This is my area now. I wanted to show you a couple things. I've got this lovely bit in a frame, and this is just one of the prints of my artwork that I finally got around to making. And I'm doing a huge update for Etsy tomorrow, and there's going to be prints and journals and bits. I've got, you know, little magnets, and I'll have bookboard and some jewelry, some bookboard, some prints, some journals, of course. And I'm just going to keep working on it and updating every week and get into doing that. These are the signatures for the journal I'm making, because I'm like, it's a new year, why not make a new journal? Even though I really love the journal that I currently have, I was like, I want to make a new one and experiment with a new way, and that's what I've been doing. That's why I have so many journals to sell on Etsy, because I just have fun making completely different ones and playing around. And these are cool because the paper is actually, it's not folded in half, it's actually two separate sheets with the fabric, so that when you open it up to a spread, it's got two different kinds of fabrics in there. So there's all different kinds in here, and today I'm going to, these are my covers so far, front and back cover. I don't know why I decided to decorate the back cover as much as the front, but I was having fun, and I thought I might finish those, or at least attempt to finish those today. Here's one of my covers, and then here is another one. And this one, I'm being really inventive here, and my covers for my journal are actually pieces of cardboard from cereal boxes, and this is sticky back canvas. And what I've done on this one is I just peeled off the back of the sticky back and mounted it onto the cereal box cover, and then I can stitch on it and have fun on it and all that kind of stuff. So on here I started with some Glimmer Mist at the bottom, and the blue is actually the Stream Adirondack ink, which I wear plastic gloves. I have just these plastic, I don't know what they're for. My dad has a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got those, and so I did that on the back and sprayed it, and then did some stuff with bubble wrap. And then I took out my hand-carved stamps that I have and just kind of put them in, you know, paint. You can see the paint smeared on there and stamped all over here. So next, I was going to doodle with some markers and then possibly add in some more paint, I don't know, and then stitch it. So I've just got, I love my Copics, and you'll hear me say that a lot, and I just got a whole bunch of them. And so you can either use, like, this is a Copic, or I have a Staedtler Permanent Lumicolor or a Sharpie or whatever the heck you want to use. Yeah, you don't have to do it around every single one, but you can do it around most of them. And I love circling some of the dots from the bubble wrap. And then there's one of those there. And you can see what's fun is that I did one of these before, and I put it through my Cuttlebug and got all these really cool journaling shapes, and just this is like my favorite one. I don't even know if I'll use it because I like it so much. So there's all kinds, and I kept what was left after I cut them out. Like, here's a big huge one, because that's something cool too that you can put on there. I just like doodling all over and just kind of like writing words. And that's why I use the Copic, because it's got kind of a bigger tip on it. Just like adding in just little bits all over the place is kind of fun too. And I do that and that, and then I'll take the chisel tip of one. The thing you have to remember though, our Copics are transparent, so they work great on white. Like, here's the other cover where, you know, this was over the patina colored, the Glimmer Mist, so it's not very dark. So it was easier to see the marker, whereas on here, you know, you're gonna have to get, you know, like here's, this is, what is this? Cardinal. You're gonna have to use darker colors, which is why I just like how black looks when I doodle on things with it, so. Just different things. I've used a little bit of ink on this sticky back canvas. This is ink here. This is the Liquitex ink. It looks like that. That's there. That's actually white Liquitex ink. This is the purple, which I've used quite a bit of. I really like. The white is great because you can actually, like, my new thing is like drawing with the actual eyedropper, and when you need more you just squeeze it and more comes out, which is nice. And that actually looks kind of cool. Something like that. These usually dry pretty flat, but you can see this one's really kind of wavy because there's lots of ink on it from lots of spray ink, whereas this one got relatively flat. And then once it was bonded with the cereal box, it is completely flat, which is really nice. I don't know which one's going to be the front cover. I really love this one a lot, and I'll probably use this part because not all of it gets used. But I also like this one a lot, which is pretty nice and totally unexpected. So this is just actually a white charcoal pencil, which surprisingly enough writes better than any white pen you'll find, and will write over anything because it's a charcoal pencil, but it'll also get all over everything. So this one's pretty nice. The clovers. I don't know how much color is left in here. I have not been able to find refills for my markers anywhere in Phoenix. So several of them are running desperately low. So I've just got some covers with some doodling on them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bond this one to this sheet, and I got to figure out what part. I think I want this part here. So basically all I do is I do a little bit of the canvas along the top and kind of matched up. Might get in the way here because it's pretty sticky. On the top, actually. Smooth it down with my hands, and then you can pretty much get any bumps out with your hands. It's not a perfect job on there, but you can always trim things up. So I'm going to now trim off the excess. There we go. So this will be, I think this will be the front cover, and what's cool is I can change the orientation. I can have the front cover be like this, which I actually think that's how it's going to go. Here I have my sewing machine. Since this is so bright, the camera is adjusting automatically because this is too hot. And that is a term. I feel like such a dork using air quotes on a camera like that. But I've been working on my video workshop for days, and that's all I've been thinking about is editing terms and all that stuff. So that is when it's too hot. The only other way I could do that is if I move the sewing machine, and if you look, it opens back up and then you can see everything. So just a little camera-y fun. So I've got my two covers, and what I first want to do, other than knock everything over on my desk, is I want to sew around here, and I'm just going to use a nice big straight stitch. And I'm actually going to go around twice. You want your stitch length is to be around 4 or 5 even. That's the numbers on my dial. You want a big stitch because if your stitches are too small, it'll actually perforate the paper and it'll just come apart. So whenever you're working with paper or cardboard or something, you want a bigger stitch size. Alright, so here we have one cover and the other, and I still have no idea which one's going to go on the front or in the back. I feel like they have two different feels, and it's one of those things where I have to sleep on it. Though now that I touched this area where I freehand stitched, it's pretty much looking a little loosey here. So for hypothetical's sake, this is what my journal will basically look like when all bound. And I really like these journals I'm making where they don't have really hard covers. And for so long I made journals where they were really stiff covers, so they were like hardcover books. And I felt like if I was journaling in it somewhere, not on a desk, I wouldn't be able to journal in it. And I've come to realize that by having all this paper in here, whatever I journal on here, it's going to be fine. It's got the like the clipboard, you know, that you put behind one sheet of paper, but if you have a notebook in your hand, you're okay. So, and the other great thing about this is, if you see, the fabric takes up quite a lot of space, so it's giving me a ton of room to work on stuff in here, like fabric and buttons and embroidery and whatever. So we'll see, because my current journal is a lot of painting and not a lot of added stuff in there, not even a lot of collaged paper, so it's kind of like I'm feeling out new things and I'm going somewhere else, and we'll see how that goes. So I've got my bits left over, and I've got my journal cover, and I'm gonna get to binding it and start using it, hopefully. I don't know, it doesn't really fit in my purse right now, so like I need an excuse to get another purse. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. Okay, and I didn't show you this journal because I made another one just for fun too. That's what's going on, is I've gone from collecting bags all the time to making journals all the time, just for shits and giggles. So this was like a plain binder like this that I got at Big Lots for $1, and now it's got this really cute Scandinavian ribbon on it and fun pages, but they're not pages. What they are is, I found the big canvas that I have on my wall is made out of Yes canvas, and I love it because it's almost like a linen with a certain kind of gessoing on it. I don't really know, but I really love working on it, and I had a whole pad of it, and I decided to just make this journal out of it. It's 8 pages, it's 4 pieces, you know, 4, but it's 8 pages, and it's got fun, funky fabric sewn in, and it's just a cool little thing, and we put a handle on it so you can take it with you or whatever. So that is this week, the first vlog of the new year, and hopefully next week when I finally set everything up and go to turn on my spotlight, it will not have been broken in the move that I didn't figure out until I put it on my desk and went to turn it on and it didn't turn on. So we should be getting a light bulb for that, so it's brighter in here, because I have a light in my nightstand and a light in the closet, and that's it. I mean, this is a lot of light. It's really great to work in here, but anyway, I'm gonna go finish editing images for prints, because I have a couple more pages from my journal that I decided I wanted to put up. So see you guys next Tuesday, hopefully before midnight my time.